Hello from studios of Maisha Television. Good to be with you here on Maisha Prime News, the bulletin that brings you breaking news, developing stories, politics, education, also what is happening at the business sector and many more. Now, historically, the most successful coalitions have been those in which parties merge before elections. Therefore, all political parties must have put their house in order before March 26, 2022. The law states that after March 26, 2022, no party will be allowed to resign from or switch coalitions. On our top stories tonight, One Kenya Alliance (OKA) has formally been declared a coalition after affiliate parties signed a pre-election deal on Friday. Also tonight, no more wearing of face mask. Health Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe has announced that the mandatory wearing of face mask in public places has been lifted. We have these and many more stories prepared for you tonight, and of course at the end of the bulletin there is our news segment 5 over 5. My name is Rida Chebet Kering, and welcome to the authoritative and incisive bulletin Maisha Prime News that comes to you every Monday to Friday at 8 p.m. and 9 a.m. and on weekends that is Saturday and Sunday at 9 p.m. Welcome. KANU, Wiper, NAK Kenya, United Democratic Party, Farmers Party, and the Movement of Democracy and Growth Party have announced the formation of a coalition after affiliate parties signed a pre-election deal on Friday, March 11th. KANU's chairperson Gideon Moi said OKA, as it campaigns for the presidential seat, will prioritize anti-graft messaging and the need for good governance. Bishebi Jr. brings the comprehensive story from Nairobi.
If you know the song, sing along.
The One Kenya Alliance has formally announced the formation of a coalition after affiliate parties signed a pre-election deal on Friday, March 11th. The parties in OKA are KANU, Wiper, NAK Kenya, United Democratic Party, Farmers Party, and the Movement for Democracy and Growth Party.
The One Kenya Alliance Coalition Agreement is signed! Coalition Agreement is signed!
When we postponed and said we needed time to fine-tune the clauses, the naysayers thought that was the end of One Kenya Alliance. We have bounced back stronger. We were 4 parties. We are 6 today, and still counting because more are on the way. This is a coalition of the willing, and any coalition should be a coalition of the willing. A coalition demands openness, mutual respect, sharing of ideals.
The signing of the pre-election coalition paves way for the outfit to field one presidential candidate in the August 9th general elections.
And even within OKA, if we decide, as we might, to field a presidential candidate, all the 7 parties cannot field, we will cede to one out of mutual agreement.
We are still open. We're still discussing. There are things that are going on, and we believe if they go on well, we will be a bigger team. If not, this is a good representation of the Republic of Kenya. And we are sure with this team, we can be able to produce a leader that shall take this country to the next level.
That means Oka cannot join other coalitions such as Azimio la Umoja or Kenya Kwanza. The individual parties in Oka can, however, enter pre-election negotiation with other coalitions.
We go to a larger coalition. We don't want to be told this is predetermined. Yes. We want total openness, mutual respect, and equality.
If, for instance, Wiper Party strikes a deal with Azimio la Umoja or Kenya Kwanza, it would have to formally resign from Oka before it can be allowed to join the other coalition of choice.
And when any party feels uncomfortable, they should be able, with notice to others, to walk away, because it is a coalition of the willing. We have stayed together without any formal agreement, not with a gun to our heads, but because we were willing to associate with one another.
However, the law states that after March 26, 2022, no party will be allowed to resign from or switch coalitions. The coalition agreements, which are binding to the affiliate parties, are usually deposited at the Office of Registrar of Political Parties.
But the most important and primary reason for this journey is the people of Kenya.
NAK Kenya Party leader Martha Karua said Oka was a coalition of the willing.
When we postponed and said we needed time to fine-tune the clauses, the naysayers thought that was the end of One Kenya Alliance. We have bounced back stronger. We were 4 parties. We are 6 today and still counting, because more are on the way. This is a coalition of the willing, and any coalition should be a coalition of the willing. A coalition demands openness, mutual respect, sharing of ideals.
KANU's Gideon Moi said Oka, as it campaigns for the presidential seat, will prioritize anti-graft messaging and the need for good governance.
And there is no go areas in us. There is, as Martha Karua said, there is zero and absolute zero tolerance to corruption. We adhere to good governance and to the rule of law. You can read it in each one's manifestos, you can read it in our speeches, in our utterances, and in the manner that we conduct ourselves. So today is not the day of speeches. Today is a happy, joyous day. I wish you all well, and I thank each one of you. And please let us all be focused on the big prize. And that prize is going to come in August, and that prize is the transformation and the happiness of the people of this republic of ours.
Kalonzo Musyoka said Oka will seek to bring on board other like-minded political parties and that negotiations with other coalitions haven't been ruled out.
The story therefore may not end here, because I'll talk about like-minded political formations. So let's prepare Kenyans for a real arsenal formation.
Cyrus Jirongo, who's always at my house at 6:30 in the morning. Today, we are having a small tete-a-tete with my dear lady, the Iron Lady, my good friend Martha Karua, and an integral part of the Oka family. And we're just having a chat, and along comes His Excellency Kalonzo Musyoka, and leo I knew he in Mukamba kweli. Because he walks in and you're talking, and then the dear lady says, oh, I can't find my ring. I think I just dropped it here, my earring. Kalonzo says, I see, Gideon.
Gideon laid a trap for me. Actually, the actual story was that I found mother looking for an earring. And the truth is, it was that the two of them were in that room.
For Maisha Prime, Maisha Television, I'm Bujhabi Jr.
The One Kenya Alliance Coalition Agreement is signed! Coalition Agreement is signed!
And Health Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe has on Friday lifted some of the measures that were put in place in order to curb the spread of COVID-19 infections in the country. Among the measures that have been lifted include the wearing of face masks in public places, the mandatory testing for all people coming in and going out of the country, and the restriction of the number of people visiting public places and places of worship. Even though the restrictions have been lifted, Mutahi Kagwe has advised Kenyans to continue to follow on the ministry's directive, owing to the fact that COVID-19 virus presence is still being felt in the country. Brian Gard with more.
Kenyans can now resume normalcy after government lifted several COVID-19 restrictions, including mandatory wearing of masks, which have been in place in the past 2 years. Health Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe, who made the announcement on Friday, said Kenyans are now free to walk without face masks in public.
That we have announced today may be reviewed at any time, and the Ministry of Health can administer ad hoc measures, including arrival testing based on prevailing pandemic situations and epidemiologic situation of the country of departure.
Kagwe said there will be no temperature screening in public spaces as well, instead recommending increased sanitation and hygiene awareness.
Sometimes you go to those places, you go to a food restaurant, ama pahali pa nyama choma, na unaomba Mungu ukule hiyo nyama, kwa sababu ukienda show pahali wewe unakula hiyo nyama, ukienda show ile inatumika hapo, story itakuwa ingine, itakuwa story ingine. Unajitayarisha kabisa, mimi sitaenda kukojoa ama sitaenda show kwa sababu najua pahali naenda iko chafu sana. We cannot continue like that. Hiyo haiwezekani sasa kwenda mbele. Kama wewe una pahali pako ambao unashomea watu nyama, ni lazima show inakuwa ni safi, na ni lazima uwe na pahali pa kunawa mikono na njia inayofaa. We must respect the people who are eating in your joint as human beings. We must respect you must respect your customers. Ndio unakuwa na usafi ile inafaa yule mtu anakula kwako.
The end to the restrictions will also see full resumption of sporting activities on condition that participants are fully vaccinated for persons above 18 years, while school games will resume unconditionally. Full congregational worship will resume with more emphasis on having those attending indoor gatherings vaccinated.
Kwa ufupi tumesema ya kwamba kutoka leo hii kuvaa barakoa, amri ya kuvaa barakoa nje wakati watu wanatembea kwa mitaani ama wakati wako nje si lazima. Kutoka leo tumesema unaweza tembea bila barakoa ukiwa nje ya kule unafanyia kazi ama uwe nje ya nyumba. Tumesema ya kwamba Interfaith Council ama ile chama tuliunda ya kushughulika na mambo ya makanisa na mosques, tumewauliza pia washughulike na mambo ya kutoa masharti ambayo itatumika katika makanisa, lakini tumesema kutoka leo hii watu wanaweza kurudi makanisani na mosques vile walikuwa hapo mbeleni, ijapokuwa ni lazima pia tuendelee na kufanya chanjo. Kwa hivyo wale ambao wamechanjwa ndio wanaweza kuendelea bila shida zozote. Vile vile tumesema ya kwamba wageni wetu wale wanatoka nchi za Ulaya na kwingineko, watu ambaye wamechanjwa kutoka leo si lazima wawe wamefanywa test ya PCR ama test zingine zozote, wako huru kutembea.
Following the dropping of the restrictions, the government is said to be working on a strategy to ramp up vaccination exercise, which will see 60% of the population vaccinated.
I also take this opportunity to appeal to our fellow Kenyans who have not been vaccinated to get vaccinated. I cannot belabor on the benefits of vaccination, but I want to appeal to you to consider the people whom you love and who surround you at all times, and whether indeed it is worth putting their lives at stake. We have enough doses of vaccines for all eligible Kenyans.
There has been a significant drop in COVID cases in the country, with the infection rate having reduced from an average of 30% weekly in December last year to 0.3% this week. For Maisha Prime News, Maisha Television, my name is Brian Gad.
And to some politics now, ODM leader Raila Amolo Odinga on Friday toured Kisumu County, which is regarded as his home turf. The Azimio boss, as expected, sold his Azimio la Umoja message to residents of Kisumu ahead of his big day on Saturday. Raila will be holding his Azimio National Delegates Conference NDC, where he is expected to be unveiled as the outfit's presidential flag bearer. The Azimio National Delegates Conference NDC will also conclude a 10-day campaign cycle he has had across different counties.
Mwezi wa 8, Mheshimiwa Raila atakuwa rais na commander in chief. Tuko pamoja. Tuko pamoja. Na tunataka governor awe ni wa Azimio, wabunge wawe ni Azimio, senator wawe ni Azimio, MCA wawe ni Azimio. Tuko pamoja. Tuko jeshi ya baba, iko wapi jeshi ya baba? Baba, ukiingia kazi, your first 100 days lazima ujenge kambi ya jeshi hapa Kisumu. Mombasa kuna kambi ya jeshi, Nakuru kuna kambi ya jeshi, na vijana wa Kondele wote, Manyata wote lazima wapate.
Wana bodaboda ni watu wazuri sana. 95% kwa 100 ni wanaboda wazuri, lakini kuna wakora wadogo. Ninyi askari, shikeni hao wakora, wachana na wale ambao wanafanya biashara halali. Hiyo hatutakubali.
Hello. Ikonyi wakedo wager Kenya, makasembo ikonyi wakedo mondo wager Kenya, mondo watiek tuoche gidhier mapod nitie. Oruko ikonyi wakedo mondo wager Kenya. Hello? Joy!
And now to Bungoma County. Senate Speaker Kenneth Lusaka is seeking to reclaim the Bungoma governor's seat on a Ford Kenya party ticket in the August general election. Lusaka launched his gubernatorial bid on Friday, March 11th, 2022 at Bungoma Post Grounds, where a multitude of his supporters gathered. Bungoma Senator Moses Wetangula, who is also the Ford Kenya party leader, was among other leaders were also present. The first governor of Bungoma lost the seat to Wycliffe Wangamati in the 2017 polls. Millicent Makoha's full report.
Senate Speaker Kenneth Lusaka is seeking to reclaim the Bungoma governor's seat on a Ford Kenya party ticket in the August general election. Lusaka launched his gubernatorial bid on 11th March 2022.
Tunakuja hapa kwa sababu mnajua mwaka huu mwezi wa 8 tutakuwa na kura mbalimbali. Na mimi wakati huu ninafanya kazi nikiwa spika wa bunge la Senate. Nashukuru Mheshimiwa Rais kwa kunipa nafasi hiyo kupendekeza jina langu na chama cha Jubilee kunipendekeza ili niwe speaker na endelea kufanya hiyo kazi.
The first governor of Bungoma lost the seat to Wycliffe Wangamati in the 2017 polls. Lusaka was unveiled as the Ford Kenya candidate in an event held at Bungoma Poster Ground.
Lakini pia nimekuwa nikisikia maoni ya watu wa Bungoma kwa sababu nilikuwa governor wa kwanza hapa kuweka msingi wa devolution katika kaunti hii. Wakati hakuna mtu alijua ukatuzi ni nini.
The former county boss who contested for the seat on Jubilee ticket in 2017 has since defected from the ruling party and registered as a member of the Ford Kenya party.
Nikaamua kwamba nikaangalia hivi vyama vyote kwa sababu 2013 nilisimama na chama kinaitwa New Ford Kenya.
Moses Wetangula's Ford Kenya party is one of the partners parties in the Kenya Kwanza alliance that comprises Deputy President William Ruto-led United Democratic Alliance and Musalia Mudavadi's Amani National Congress.
Tuanza safari ya kwenda kwa headquarter Bungoma. Tumekuja hapa kwa maombi na nawashukuru nyinyi nyote kwa kuja kushiriki kwa hayo maombi kuombea mtoto wetu Kenneth Makelo Lusaka ili safari yake ya kwenda kuwa kiongozi gavana wa Bungoma iwe nyepesi, iwe rahisi na iwe bila kasoro yoyote. Ni siku ya furaha kubwa kwa sababu Mheshimiwa Spika wangu wa Senate na kwa hii miaka 4 zaidi na nusu tumefanya kazi vizuri sana. Mpango wa Mungu hauna kasoro. Kura ilipokwisha tumekwaruzana Bungoma kuingia kwa Senate. Speaker na mimi mlango yetu ilikuwa opposite each other.
He will battle it out with Wangamati, who recently joined the newly launched Democratic Action Party of Kenya that is affiliated with Raila Odinga's Azimio la Umoja movement.
Wacha nisikie mwito wa watu wangu nirudi kuja kufanya kazi hapa Bungoma nikamilishe ile miradi nilianzisha.
Lusaka has already established a campaign center in Bungoma town, complete with staff's members as part of efforts to stamp authority in the county ahead of the polls.
Mimi nataka kusema hivi, wakati nataka kurudi kuna mambo ambayo nilikuwa nimeanzisha. Ya kwanza ni mambo ya mbolea. Mimi nilikuwa napata 6 billion budget. Sasa hivi 12 billion budget ambayo tunapata katika kaunti ya Bungoma. Jambo kusaidia watu wetu kuwa na kilimo bora. Nikirudi nataka hiyo mbolea tufikishe hata 1000.
Lusaka's bid for the top county job received a shot in the arm after 35 Bungoma members of county assemblies endorses him for this seat.
Na siku yake ni tarehe 9 mwezi wa 8 mwaka huu. So sisi ambao tumejipanga, mimi nimejipanga kuwa mjumbe wa Mount Elgon. Niko kwa Kenya Kwanza. Tukijua kwamba rais wetu ni Mheshimiwa William Samoei Ruto. Gavana wetu ni Mheshimiwa Kenneth Makelo Lusaka.
Led by County Assembly Majority Leader Joseph Nyongesa, the ward representatives promised to campaign for the speaker and send Wangamati home.
Wagatuzi la Bungoma tuko wabunge zaidi ya 35 ambao tumesema ya kwamba Mheshimiwa Ken Makelo Lusaka ambaye alikuwa gavana wa kwanza wa gatuzi la Bungoma arudi achukue hii nafasi tarehe 9 mwezi wa 8 mwaka huu. Na tumejitolea muhanga na tutahakikisha ya kwamba tunaing'oa kwa vyovyote hii serikali ya udhalimu, serikali ya mabavu, serikali ambayo imenyanyasa watu ya Bungoma, serikali ya marungu, serikali ambayo haijali maslahi ya watu wa Bungoma. Wakati Mheshimiwa Lusaka alipokuwa gavana, mlikuwa mnaona ya kwamba tulikuwa na amani katika gatuzi la Bungoma.
Sawa kabisa.
Baada ya huyu aliyeko sasa kuchukua wadhifa wa gavana, tumekuwa na vita katika mikutano mingi na watu wa Bungoma wameomba ya kwamba Mheshimiwa Gavana Lusaka arudi, na sisi tumejumuika hapa leo kudhibitisha na kuhakikishia wakaaji wote wa Bungoma ya kwamba sisi tutajitolea, tumejitolea na tutahakikisha ya kwamba tunampa kijana wenyu ambaye mnamenzi, mnampenda, Mheshimiwa Ken Lusaka Makelo.
For Maisha Prime News, Maisha Television, I'm Millicent Makoha.
And ODM leader Raila Odinga has defended his madoa-doa remarks that he made during a rally in Wajir while addressing the crowd in Kisumu County. Raila said that he was misunderstood. NCIC wants Raila to explain in which context he used the term madoa-doa during the Azimio la Umoja rally in Wajir. Odinga has been summoned to appear before the National Cohesion and Integration Commission NCIC in response to remarks he made at the political rally in Wajir County on March 9, 2022. In a statement, National Cohesion and Integration Commission NCIC says that the madoa-doa remarks are considered a hate speech term in Kenya, which the commission is mandated to fight. His madoa-doa remarks elicited sharp criticism from Kenyans, especially the Kenya Kwanza Alliance leaders who have been demanding that he be treated the same way as Meru Senator Mithika Linturi, who made similar remarks at a rally in Eldoret.
Accessing a part of Nandi This incident was received with cheers from one side of the political divide and with jeers on the other political side. And on 27th of January, a clash between His Excellency Raila Odinga supporters and the supporters of Deputy President His Excellency William Ruto in Githurai led to a few being injured, and a further showed how intolerant we can be in our politics. Then
na kuliwajia candidates wote ambao walikuja walikuwa wote ni wa Azimio, wakasema ati Wajia ni Azimio zone, na mimi nikasimama nikatoa pongezi nikasema ya kwamba Wajia ni Azimio zone, hakuna madoadoa. Sikumaanisha ya kwamba tutaki kabila ingine kule Wajia. Kwa hivyo kama kuna mtu yeyote ambaye hakunielewa vizuri, ambaye ameona makosa, mnaambia yeye pole sana, pole sana, pole sana. Sisi hatuwezi kupagua Mkenya yeyote kwa msingi ya kikabila. Yini madoadoa nilitumia kule Wajia ni tofauti sana na ile ya Eldoret. Baadaye kule walikuwa nasema Muhindi arudi kwao kule Punjab, lakini mimi nilisema Wajia hakuna chama ingine. Hapa Kisumu hakuna madoadoa, sio? Kisumu ni Azimio zone, ama sivyo? Wakati mnasema Kisumu ni Azimio zone, kwa mkono.
And still on the same hate speech story, bodies mandated to oversee the general elections are maintaining that they are not having an easy time due to politicians who are spewing hate speech and diving Kenyans ahead of the polls. But what exactly is hate speech, and how are the bodies mandated with the taming hate speech handling several leaders who have allegedly been involved with hate speech, either directly or indirectly? Millicent Makoha expounds.
Kenya Kwanza leaders have called for the arrest of ODM leader Raila Odinga over his madoadoa remarks during an Azimio la Umoja rally in Wajir, terming it hate speech.
Hii serikali ya Uhuru Kenyatta na Raila Odinga hivi sasa imekuwa serikali ya kudhulumu wa Kenya. Imekuwa serikali ambazo taasisi wamezifunga kwenye makoti yao kuangalia ni nani wa kudhalilishwa, ni nani wa kuhujumiwa, na ni nani ambaye hata akisema nini atatembea free.
Led by Tharaka Nithi Senator Kithure Kindiki and the United Democratic Alliance Chairman Johnson Muthama, they called for investigation and prosecution against Raila, saying the law should be applied equally to both Azimio and Kenya Kwanza politicians.
Kwa sababu jana tumeona ule mzee wa kuzimia akiwa kule Wajia amesimama mbele ya watu mchana kandamnazi, akasema hiyo kaunti ya Wajia ataki kuona madoadoa kwa hiyo county.
They spoke in reference to Raila's remarks in Wajir, where the former premier used the word madoadoa that recently landed Meru Senator Mithiki Linturi in trouble. The leaders allied to Deputy President William Ruto were addressing rallies in Kilifi and Mombasa counties. They claimed it would amount to double standards if state agencies fail to arrest and question Raila over the remarks.
Kile kilichofanyika kwa Linturi lazima baba naye kimfanyikie, kwa sababu amevunja nini? Kwani madoadoa ni mbaya kwa Linturi lakini ni nzuri kwa Raila? Hilo neno madoadoa si ni madoadoa? Basi tunataka pia yeye kama kiongozi aitwe kama ni kuwekwa ndani awekwe, kama ni kotini afanye nini?
Professor Kindiki told the Inspector General of Police, Director of Criminal Investigations, National Cohesion and Integration Commission, and the Director of Public Prosecution to ensure Raila was charged in court to avoid applying the law selectively.
So we are asking the DCI, the National Commission on Integration and Cohesion, NCIC, we are asking the police to move fast and swiftly and arrest the leader of Azimio for hate speech and charge him in court immediately. Kwa sababu juzi kuna mwenzetu mmoja ameteleza ulimi kule Eldoret, akateleza ulimi, akatumia hilo jina, the same word, akatumia jina madoadoa kule Eldoret. Hata kulala nyumbani siku hiyo, alishikwa akapelekwa police station, alilala kule Kaptembo police station Nakuru. Na sisi kama wana Kenya kwanza, wakati hiyo tendo ilitokea, Mheshimiwa Mithika Linturi alitoa public apology, akasema hakumaanisha watu watolewe sehemu ile, alikuwa anamaanisha wapigie watu ya UDA kura wote.
For Maisha Prime News, Maisha Television, I'm Millicent Makoha.
So we are demanding DCI, NCIC move swiftly and also charge the leader of Azimio, Mr. Tinga, with hate speech.
The Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, has appointed 3 senior directors to help streamline the electoral process ahead of the August 9th polls. In an announcement by the Commission's chairman, Wafula Chebukati, Michael Ouma was appointed as the Director of Information Communication Technology, ICT, a docket that was held by Chris Msando before he was brutally murdered in 2017. The Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission also appointed Crispin Otieno as the Director of Legal Services, with Ruth Kulundu taking the position of Deputy Commission Secretary in charge of operations.
Be done once we get the funds availed to us. But in the meantime,
And moving on, Garissa County Commissioner Boaz Cherutich has assured area residents that the government is working round the clock to help all households affected by drought. Cherutich denied accusations that the government is not doing enough to cushion Kenyans against drought.
Kwa muda mfupi sana ya mwaka moja tumepoteza watu 17 kwa sababu serikali wametoa order hatushutu keep, watafute au wahalifu kule msituni na wafurushe kutoka kule msituni. Wakitoka pale, wale ambao ni wakulima wataendelesha kipindi yao kulima kwa njia mzuri.
Ninaomba mali ya kulala, sina chochote. Kipata kidogo napata itoe. Nipata tu tikisi. Nafunika na ishuka. Niko hivyo peke yangu. Na sina mengi ya kusema, nimesema asante Mungu juu mmefika, nikasikia chakula iko, nikasema acha niombe watoto wangu wapate kitu.
And over 10,000 residents who have been internally displaced following last week's banditry attacks in Baringo South, Nyibei and Mochongoi areas have received relief from the Kenya Red Cross Society and the Baringo County government. The donations will benefit the 965 households displaced from Kasiela, Sinoni and Kapkosum villages.
9 sub-counties have received relief food, which have been delivered and already distributed. Last week, we were in Farfit to witness the distribution. The cash transfer program is very popular. Most of the agencies are doing this. And we have recommended that in order to ensure the issues of double duplication and double registration, we have a team which brings on board which brings together all departments doing cash transfer activities, so that we now have the data. This will reduce cases of duplication.
Maendeleo ya Wanawake organization has come out to support Raila Odinga presidency. The organization chairperson Rahab Mwikali said the move was arrived at during their annual delegates meeting in Nairobi. Let's listen in.
We want to land this country safely into a transition. And the only way to do this is to support Raila, former Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga. When we get this opportunity to see the Right Honorable Prime Minister, I talked to my minister this morning, they are leaving for CSW, which we are not able to go because of the celebrations. We are saying, when he wins, we are then asking for the following. Maendeleo needs to be allocated a national budget from the time His Excellency gets in office. There is a lot of work to do, especially with the child marriages. There's a lot of work to do with our girls who are giving birth at 9 years, simply being grandmothers when they are 20 years. The poverty created there is a vicious cycle. We need to do a lot of work at the grassroots. So due to the limited resources we have, we are not able to support what we want to do as Maendeleo. This budget will help us then to run businesses for our women at the grassroots together with the government of the day. Maendeleo therefore recognizes that there exists a unique connection between water and life, and therefore women's empowerment in actualizing the Vision 2030, which said every home will have water, sanitation. Maendeleo started a national water harvesting project in 2019 in Kajiado, which was officiated and launched by His Excellency the President in December 2020, President Kenyatta, in our AGM. We therefore got in a partnership with Equity Bank and Equity Group Foundation in 2021 to ensure that every woman at the grassroots gets a 10,000 liters water tank to harvest rainwater, which is clean, safe, reliable, and time-saving. The Maiwa National Water Harvesting Project targets to reach 1 million households by 2024, 2 million by 2028, and 4 million households by 2030. We need to have access to clean water, safe, reliable for domestic use. We need improved health sanitation. We need dignity for our women, and we need smart agriculture. We don't have to go back to where we were 2 days ago. We all know, and the President spoke to that 2 days ago. And we thank him for that bold decision of His Excellency when he made the directive he made on the Gao on Forest Road. We request that every county then nominates the chairs are here, and that I have said. We are also proposing that because we have the data, we can recommend ambassadorial positions. Our girls here and our boys here, we know you. We can recommend these positions in parastatus, in board chairs, and as board members. Finally, we are also claiming we've been able to cover a lot with our current ministry and minister. We would want to retain that position of the Minister for Public Service and Gender. I thank you. Unless you have any questions. Asanteni sana.
Well, and crossing borders, Russian President Vladimir Putin has warned that Western penalties against Moscow will destabilize global energy and food markets. Putin said there had been no alternative to what Russia calls its special military operation in Ukraine, and that Russia was not a country which could accept compromising its sovereignty for some sort of short-term economic gain. Let's have a look.
Russia has started feeling the economic effects of its full-scale invasion of Ukraine.
We are impacting upon 70% of the banking system in Russia. We are preventing the regime from financing the war effort. And this is meaningful, this is important, and we are all behind it.
It's a generation or more since we witnessed such bloodshed in Europe. We hoped we would never have to see such sights again.
The anti-tank, we need anti-aircraft. We just need to increase our defensive capability to stop the crazy aggressor in Europe.
We hate what's just happening right now in our country.
I'm calling them every 10-15 minutes. I don't know what is happening there right now. Just stand up and do something to protect our family.
United States President Joe Biden, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson, and their allies have announced economic sanctions on Russia.
Authorizing additional strong sanctions.
Package of massive and targeted sanctions.
Largest and most severe package of economic sanctions.
The Russian president declared a war on the record. Should I play the video of your president?
On day 13, in the city of Mariupol that was attacked by the Russian force, a child was killed. They do not allow any food, any water, and people started panicking. I think everybody can hear that people do not have water over there. Over 13 days of this situation, over 50 children have been killed.
We're banning all imports of Russian oil and gas and energy. That means Russian oil will no longer be acceptable at U.S. ports, and the American people will deal another powerful blow to Putin's war machine. Since Putin began his military buildup on Ukrainian borders, just since then, the price of the gas at the pump in America went up 75 cents.
The Pentagon has rejected a Polish offer to hand its Russia-made MiG-29 fighter jets to Ukraine, which is desperate for protection from the air, fearing a wider conflict with Moscow.
That we will fight on the banks of different rivers like Dnieper, and we are looking for your help, for the help of the civilized countries. We are thankful for this help, and I'm very grateful to you, Boris. Please increase the pressure of sanctions against this country, and please recognize this country as a terrorist state. And please make sure that our Ukrainian skies are safe. Please make sure that you do what needs to be done and what is stipulated by the greatness of your country. Best of all to Ukraine and to the United Kingdom.
Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky invoked the wartime defiance of British Prime Minister Winston Churchill, vowing to fight to the end in a virtual speech to UK lawmakers.
We will not give up and we will not lose. We will fight till the end at sea, in the air. We will continue fighting for our land, whatever the cost. We will fight in the forests, in the fields, on the shores, in the streets. I would like to add,
the beer giant Heineken halted its brewing and sales in Russia, with McDonald's, Coca-Cola and coffee chain Starbucks also suspending its operations. The US intelligence chiefs say Russian President Vladimir Putin is angry and frustrated, warning he is likely to double down and try to grind down the Ukrainian military with no regard for civilian casualties. 2,000 plus Russian troops have been killed.
Who in the Lord's name does Putin think gives him the right to declare new so-called countries on territory that belong to his neighbors? This is a flagrant violation of international law.
The Pentagon said it estimates between 2,000 and 4,000 Russian soldiers that have been killed in the nearly 2 weeks old invasion. Russia admitted to only 498 killed on March 2nd. The UN says the number of people fleeing the war now tops 2 million. Poland alone has received 1.2 million people. For Maisha Prime, Maisha Television, I'm Bushabi Jr.
All right, and with that story from Russia, I'm taking a short commercial break. I'll be back shortly. Welcome back. This is Maisha Prime News, and moving on, self-employment in general and micro-enterprise in particular is evolving as a prospective option for income generation and the reduction of poverty in developing economies such as here in Kenya. However, a lack of skills among the poor has been identified as one of the key hindrances in promoting micro-enterprises and therefore in reducing poverty. GASP CBO, in association with Mukuru Angaza, has now come out to enlighten the community through training sessions in order to lift the underprivileged in the society. Let's have a look. Training and mentoring is an effective way to teach possible solutions and for trainees to gain hands-on experience, increasing financial awareness, building economic and social empowerment among women, and decreasing youth unemployment are just a few areas where GASPA CBO, under the leadership of Honorable Chrysanthus Ongulo, together with Mukuru Angaza under the leadership of Francis Gikufu, incorporates training and mentoring as a way to solve these issues.
My name is Francis Gikufu, founder director of Mukuru Angaza Film Academy. We are based in Nairobi, and I'm happy to be here. For the last 2 weeks, we've been having a session where we've been empowering this Webuye community under GASP. We've been here at Webuye at GASP Institute. We've been empowering the community on how to identify the problem that they have in the community, looking at the barriers that can hinder them from achieving a solution. And lastly, we've been giving the community a chance to create their own problem. They've been able to see the play that demonstrates the solution that they have. We look forward to the next phase where they are going to the community now and engage with the communities, be able to interact with them, and through this, we believe that a lot of change will be experienced right here on the ground. Webuye shall be great, Webuye shall shine, and it will shine through people that have come from within. The right change should always come.
Okay, kwa majina mimi naitwa Chrysanthus Ongulo. Nikiwa mimi ndio kiongozi wa hili shirika ambalo naongoza shirika ambalo ni la GASP by Golden Age Support and Protection Program. Na kwa wiki mbili zilizopita, of course, tumekuwa kwa training session ambayo tunajaribu kusaidia watu wetu ya jamii, wale ambao maisha yao liko chini ili inaweze kuinuka. Tunaangalia ile maisha ya watu ambao liko chini, wale zile households, ile jamii ambazo maisha yao bado iko chini, tunawaleta pamoja, tunajaribu kuwafundisha.
Self-employment in general and micro-enterprise in particular is evolving as a prospective option for income generation and the reduction of poverty in developing economies such as Kenya. However, a lack of skills among the poor has been identified as one of the key hindrances in promoting micro-enterprises and therefore in reducing poverty.
When it came to their bite, what they did, when my fellow ACC was asking them, what are these that you're doing? They pointed, they are using maize corn to make popcorns. That is, use the little you have to better yourself. Kama utatumia hiyo kidogo umepata, huwezi jisaidia hivyo. Hata ukipewa mingi huwezi jisaidia. So there are many opportunities, I know. This is an opportunity for learning. So take it.
Various initiatives have been taken by Mukuru Angaza and GASPA CBO to promote entrepreneurship among the poor, and the present study seeks to examine the role of training in this process.
Za jamii kama ujambazi, wizi, ubakaji,
vitu kama hiyo. Kwa hiyo nimefunzwa mimi na nimeelimika, nimeona kuwa nikienda kule kwenye jamii pia naweza kuwaelimisha wasiwe walanguzi wa madawa za kulevya, jinsi ya kumaliza umaskini, umuhimu wa masomo na kadhalika.
On Friday, the two partners produced another batch of trainees who have been under training for a period of 2 weeks, analyzing the problems in the society and trying to come up with solutions.
Kuweza kuachana na ulevi, at least kushughulika na kitu cha kuleta manufaa katika jamii zetu. Na tumejifunza ya kwamba tunatakana tufungue vitu kama miradi ambayo itawezesha watoto wetu kuwa na bidii kule vijijini kuliko kukaa na kuzembea. Wafanye bidii katika kufanya kazi zao, kutumia akili zao za kuzaliwa na maarifa ambao tumejifunza hapa yenye tutawapea. Na mojawapo ni kama kutengeneza vikapu, jinsi tunatengeneza katika hili eneo la gasi, kutengeneza ushanga, kutengeneza mats na among many others. Ni hiyo tumejifunza. Na kwa wale ambao
the groups showcased their findings and possible solutions and presented them before the judges led by the Assistant County Commissioner SCC.
Assistant County Commissioner, tumekupatia majukumu. Hilo silo jukumu langu peke yangu. It is a collective responsibility. Uwe ni raia, uwe ni pastor, uwe ni chief, uwe ni DO, uwe ni DC. Ni kuhakikisha tunapigana vita na hili jambo la domestic violence ni jumla. Hata tuwache sexual harassment. Domestic violence, sikuna wamama wanapika wababa. Hawa baba wanaripoti wapi? In fact, mama akipika baba kwa nyumba, yeye ndiye anapika kelele nyingi. Na baba amenyamaza kama kondoo na twangwa kabisa. Kwa hivyo domestic violence is all around. Upande wa mama na upande wa baba. Hata kuna baba wengine wanalala chini na mama analala kwa kitanda. That is domestic violence.
Apart from that, they also showcased their talents through acting, bringing out some of the causes of poverty in the community and how women become the culprits in most cases.
Amen.
The conclusion is that provision of training alone may not always help in promoting entrepreneurship. The training itself must meet the needs of the trainees, and other strategic variables, particularly access to finance, may need to be in play.
Hapa najua shida zenye zinawaffect hapa nyingi pia zinawaffect watu wenye natafuta kura, sio? Kama mimi na understand language ya siasa.
For Maisha Prime, Maisha Television, I'm Reader Kering Chebet. Right now to an education segment by reporter Millicent Makoha.
Warmest congratulations on your graduation. So happy to share in the excitement of your graduation day and so very proud of you too. Echoes of joy filled Eruli Primary School as the PP2 pupils mark the graduation ceremony on Thursday, barely a day after the end of KCPE examination.
Nitaliona kesa. Nataka PP2 nenda grade 1. Ndio bwile nimefurahi kwenda class 1.
The event was graced by Salvation Army Band. The graduates dressed in black gown as they make their triumphant entry to school compound to mark the day. Wesley Wanjala is the school director.
Mimi ni Wesley Wanjala na Munyu, director wa Eruli Children's Center and School. Nachukua nafasi hii siku ya leo, tumekuwa na sherehe ya mahafala ambapo watoto wanatoka katika chekechea wanaingia shule ya msingi.
He appreciated the teachers and graduates for their commitment.
Nataka kushukuru wazazi wote ambao wameweza kushiriki pamoja na walimu na community yote kwa jumla kutokana na siku ya leo. Kwa hivyo nasema asante sana, na pia ningependa kuhimiza wazazi wote ya kwamba wakaweze kusimama pamoja na shule pamoja na kila mmoja. Ninawakaribisha wazazi wote ya kwamba shule yetu iko na enough facilities na iko tayari. Kama wewe unataka kuleta mtoto hapa, nataka kusema karibu sana. Tunapata kwamba wazazi wengi pengine wanatembea kwenda kwa umbali sana kutafuta shule, na kwa hivyo tukaona kwamba we can offer the best and quality services. Ndio maana tumeanzisha hizo shule zikiwa pamoja. Miongoni mwa hizo shule kuna shule ya high school tuko nayo, na ni Emmanuel Namunyi Memorial High School ambayo inafanya pia vizuri. Kwa hivyo nahimiza wazazi wote ambao pengine wanafikiria kupeleka watoto wao shule ya upili ama mahali popote, wanaweza kuja na kujiunga pamoja nasi.
I therefore send my sincere appreciation to our beloved parents, our beloved director and the school as a whole.
The students' discipline took the center stage in the event.
Kwa wale wazazi ambao watoto wamefanya mitihani ya KCP na wamekuja nyumbani, na wale watoto ambao pengine wamekuja nyumbani kwa likizo ndefu ambayo watakuwa nayo, nataka kuwahimiza ya kwamba likizo hii ni ndefu kwa sababu inaenda kuchukua wiki kama 7. Tunaomba kwamba wiki hizo ikaweze kutumika kwa njia nzuri kwa kuweza kuhakikisha kwamba unalinda watoto wako na kuhakikisha wanakaa vizuri, kwa sababu watoto wengi wanaweza kupotea na pia kukosa mwelekeo wakati wanapo kutana na mambo tofauti tofauti. Kwa hivyo ni vyema mkaweze kuwalinda watoto wenu na pia mkaweze kusimama pamoja nao.
Ninahimiza watoto na wazazi wanapoenda nyumbani kwa hii likizo mrefu, wazazi waweze kulinda watoto wao, waweze kuwapa advice, wawape mwelekeo ulio mwema kwa hii likizo, waambie watoto jinsi wanavyostahili kukaa.
The director wished the 2021 candidates success as they prepare for the exams on 14th March 2022.
Kwa ujumla shule ambazo ninaongoza ni kama 5, na tunapata kwamba hizo shule zote zilianzishwa kupitia kwa huduma yetu ya Hope and Light Christ Ministries. Wanafunzi wote ambao wanaenda kufanya mtihani wa KCSE ya kwamba nawatakia ufanisi mwema, na pia najua kwamba mtihani huu sio wa kwanza na matokeo yatakuwa mema, na kila jambo ambalo wanajaribu walisoma litaweza kufanyika vizuri. Kwa hivyo mwanafunzi asihangaike ama mzazi usihangaike, walimu walishatayarisha wanafunzi na wako tayari. Kwa hivyo mtihani unapoanza Jumatatu, tunaomba kwamba Mungu akaweze kuwabariki na akawezeshe wanafunzi wote kupita mtihani.
For Maisha Education segment, Maisha Television, I'm Millicent Makoha.
And still in feature mode, here is our daily feature, My Hustle, My Story by Brian Gad.
Opening a barber shop locally known as Kinyozi is a common venture among Kenyan youth, thanks to the constant demand for haircut services, but it takes more than a deft barber to attract customers.
Kuwa hapa ni passion. Kunyoa ni passion. Nilijifunza na nikapata naweza make kitu kutoka kwa kunyoa. Then we hold on, nikifanya pia na offer best services, na poa. So kuwa hapa ni passion na pia bidii yangu.
Nobody understands that better than Kennedy Ngunye, founder of Oxygen Kinyozi, also known as O2, which is arguably one of the friendly barber shops in the densely populated Bungoma town.
Kwa sababu nilianza last year mwezi wa 4 since then nimeona ina grow, sababu siwezi sema niko penye nilianza. Since then nimemake further steps, still naenda tu nikiaim higher kwa sababu kila siku is a new day. I have to improve and do it to another level.
Passion is what drove Kennedy to succeed, because he is completely dedicated to making his hustle work, no matter how hard the process may be. A lot of aspiring entrepreneurs do not have passion for their businesses.
Before nikuja hapa, mama yangu alikuwa amenipea nifanye job, so nikamfanyia over 10 to 2 years. So kwenye kabati tu ni passion. So nikiwa pale, my dream ilikuwa pia nikuwe na kinyozi yangu, pia nijiandike because naona kinyozi cha good business. So out of that passion ya kunyoa, nilipata tu najituma interest. So nataka pia mimi nikuwe na kinyozi yangu, na at the end nilifanikiwa. So sema nilipata good place, nikakuja hapa. So ndo nikaplan venye relocate hapa na nikaanza kazi.
Secret to success: aim high, start small and keep going. Big success is often just an accumulation of small successes.
Capital ni kweli ni changamoto kwa watu wengi, lakini ukiwa na clear dream, ukiwa unataka nini, it's not hard, kwa sababu ukiwa umeandikwa mahali lazima ukae na maono. So the little you get, unaenda ukisave bado upata 200 unaweka, upate ni umepata unaweka, at the end unajua unasemaga kidogo ujaza kibaba. So you just have to start the little you are earning. So ndio uende ukiongezeka the extent yenye utapata inaweza fungua kazi.
Many people dream of starting a business, but the fear they'll be in the 50% who don't succeed drives them off. If you want to break out, then stay out.
So I have services like scrubbing, I do that. Okay, I do hair dyeing.
In his strategic objectives, Kennedy's aim higher mantra is a real game changer.
I'm just aiming higher. So, when you are aiming higher, just looking for the good, and you're just trying to create the good out of this. So, by doing that, just have to be motive. Motive is what you call use the next level. Provided you don't have it, just stay there studying.
Being positive and clear in his thoughts has helped Kennedy tackle tricky situations.
No, you must have the dream. You must have the target. But before, there's something you need to grow inside you. You have that passion. You need to have the passion. The second thing, you need to be positive. So, as you have those several things, with the time, you see that you're advancing slow by slow. But if you fail, maybe you have the big dreams, but you don't have passion. You don't have the motives that are pushing you. Just stagnate there. So, I first developed those motives that are pushing me. So, be positive. Second thing is to be clear what you want. I think that will take me to the level I need to be.
Kennedy earns money and boosts his bottom line courtesy Oxygen Kinyozi.
For not this one, I don't know where I'll be hustling, but since yes, this is where I win my bread. So it's what's sustaining me and it's what keeping me moving further and further, advancing to my goals.
Challenges of the energy sector is creating uncertainty for new and small businesses.
This business is something you aspire to do in the next 5 years.
Yeah, I want to hold on to this business because I believe that with passion, that will take me where I need to be. And the challenges I encounter is like power. Most of the time, with power they are on, off. Likely when you start to train, just found that power is just disturbing. There is no consistency.
Kennedy says decision-making as one of the priority areas for action. Implicit in this commitment is an acknowledgement that young people are reluctant to make moves.
They should know that this is the time they need to make up their minds. This is the time they need to know what they want to achieve in their life. This is the time that they have to make the decisions that will be beneficial to their life. Because as a youth, when you fail your youth, you have failed your future. So just look for the small ideas out there. There is many jobs you can do. Either you have financial or you don't have financial. Some don't even need more capital, just more capital to start. And be positive in what you are doing. Know that you are the carrier of your future. So now no one will come there and try to put your future in place. But just you want to do it. And just make a decision, just a decision. You know the path to follow, you know this path will end up to where, and you know this path will end up to where. So it's you to choose where to go.
He has strongly come out to thank the government for lowering power bills. It has supported his household amid climbing cost of items.
Need to be afflicted, but the government there to help you in form of taxation of small things. To find that spirit to our once buying at 50 shillings, now we are buying it at 100 shillings. Just small units. But anyway, I can say thank you to the government because it has brought the electricity bill price a little low. Now we can consume a little, we can consume for a long period without cut out. I can thank for it, but need to look at small businesses, some financial aid. You can be better than this.
Maisha Television, my hustle, my story, Brian Gad.
Well, and today on our 5/5 segment, let me usher in Bushebi Jr.
Thank you so much, Rida Kirin Chebet. And today in our news segment 5/5, we take a look at the high cost of living.
Hata school fees huwezi fika hiyo kiwango ya kulipa. Kama saa hii nilikuwa nafaa kulipa ni school fees, ikuwezekana.
Now, in the last few days, we have had a conversation on the cost of food. The hashtag lower food prices has been in news across various social media platforms. Kenyans are angry, and they should be. From 2013 to date, the cost of a 2-kilogram packet of sifted maize flour has gone up by 18 shillings. The price of 1 kilogram of sukuma wiki has increased by 14 shillings. Fresh milk has risen by 41.5%. And the price of electricity that drives the cost of many other items has increased 56.9%. Staggering numbers that do not always correspond with an increase in salaries and earnings. The hashtag seems to have gone away already, but the problem is as big as it was before the outcry, if not bigger. But just what is ailing agriculture and food production in this country? This might not sound encouraging, but the truth is that lowering food prices cannot be done immediately with a snap of a finger. It cannot happen by the end of August 2022, right after the elections is done and the new administration is put at the helm. This is because agriculture depends on so many things, many of which cannot be fixed quickly. One is our land policy. The subdivision of our land into smaller parcels makes large-scale profitable farming unsustainable. Does father with 5 children and 10 acres of land really have to subdivide that land into smaller pieces for everyone to inherit? Friends, a quarter acre here, half acre there will not feed Kenya's population that grows at a rate of about 1 million per year. In addition, we need to make the connection between consumers and farmers who produce the food. When the price of a bag of unga goes up, we need to understand as consumers the conditions under which the farmer produced the maize. Farmers often spend a large amount of resources on farm inputs. Did you know that 50% of our farmers, particularly those who grow grains such as wheat, depend on fertilizer? In addition, the chemical fertilizers that are used are largely imported, and so when the global prices change, it affects the farmers. Consider this. Farmers sell a bag of maize at 2,500. But one bag of DAP fertilizer costs 6,000 shillings. When farmers are making noise about high cost of fertilizer, they are on their own. Yet this will eventually come to us as consumers. There was no hashtag when the farmers were complaining of this just last year. What's more, experts now tell that the fertilizers that we have been using have acidified our soils. We have become over-dependent on pesticides to the extent that they are no longer beneficial. not to mention the fact that the pesticides are not good for the environment.
These chemicals in soil, what happens is we kill the micronutrients in the soil, we destroy the biodiversity. A good number of these chemicals lock up the nutrients that is needed in our food.
As a legislator, this is my responsibility to ensure that we actually tighten the loopholes in our laws that are allowing these dangerous chemicals that have been banned in other countries to make their way to their...
Kitu kama mbegu usipopiga dawa, hiyo armyworms inakula mbegu inamaliza yote. You will not harvest anything. So there is no way unaweza kosa kuitumia unless we develop a resistant seed yenye ita resist hiyo crop, lakini wewe tuambia tuache kutumia na hakuna options because that thing came from Cameroon all the way to here. Sasa we've inherited something that was not here, but initially we never used to use this pesticide, so it is forcing us to use them because we cannot produce without them.
We need to have tools. You know, we're in a different tropical environment where we don't have winters that you know, get rid of our pests.
And therefore, by just banning those products without doing a proper risk assessment, and is not good because it's going to bring Kenya down.
Do not think that we have a cursed land or we have a cursed climate. Or, you know, it cannot be. The fact that we have a diversity of pests and diseases is the same way we have a diversity of solutions and natural remedies to the same pests and diseases.
In addition, farmers are not able to grow everything they consume. They themselves are net buyers from the market. 60% of farmers buy more from the market than they sell. In actual fact, they are then not producers but consumers. Farmers consistently have a hard time getting good quality certified seed. And whatever happens to agricultural extension services that was so critical in disseminating information and building the capacity of small-scale farmers, wouldn't they be so useful now when climate change has led to such erratic weather patterns? How are farmers to know what crop to plant in what season? And whatever happened to Galana Kulalu project that was to produce 1 million bags of maize per year?
Government has decided, given the efficiencies of private sector in terms of agriculture production, that once we have finalized in investing in the infrastructure, basic irrigation infrastructure, the 10,000 model farm is going to be commercialized, competitively commercialized, following which then the next step would be a decision on how to open up further land, again, which will be determined by availability of water as a major enabler for this project.
With a few days to go to the elections, whoever takes office in August will have to tell us why our budgets consistently focus on large industrial farming rather than on the small-scale farmers who produce 70% of the food we consume. They will need to tell us why the budgets have always focused on the usual staples like maize rather than investing in growing our food diversity and indigenous crops that are climate resilient and nutritionally rich. They will have to tell us why pesticides banned in Europe are still in use in Kenya. It is going to take more than a hashtag Fox, press conferences and political rallies to lower food prices. We are going to need more than minor surgery, but rather a total transformation of how we produce our food in this country and at what cost. That is food for thought for the voter and the man or woman who will take over the reins of Kenya in August. My name is Bushabi Jr. and that is 5 out of 5.
Food for thought there by Bushebi Jr. And folks, that marks the end of the Prime News. My name is Rida Chebet Kering. Enjoy your weekend.